Good afternoon. Thank you for having me here today. It's really good to be back in a learning institution. And the last time I was back in was also 4 years ago. And the last talk I gave in front of a live audience was also in Sunway 4 years ago. So let me start with a disclaimer. I am not a professional. I'm not an expert. I'm not even a therapist. Unlike you guys, I did not even graduate with a degree. And I'm just someone who is struggling with mental health issues and have been struggling with mental health issues for the most part of my life. In the past, I really did not view my life as a gift, but a curse. And I did not even see the world in a positive light. But I knew I had to do something to help myself. I had to give myself a reason to get out of bed and do something that would break that. Because before I knew it, my dark days had spiraled into 8 years. So I decided to start with writing and blogging. It was, I guess, the easiest way for me to work on something that I could really do at my own pace and time. And it was my personal baby steps. Something that could help me focus on a consistent manner, and it felt safe and manageable because I could connect with people all over the world at a click of a button, and it will also end at a click of a button. I could shut it down. And that felt really wonderful. So my blog, The Art of Fearless Living, really started as a journal of sorts, personal journal. And I was writing notes to myself, positive reinforcement for self. I really did not intend it to be anything more. But it started to take a life of its own. Shockingly, it started to gain actual readers and followers. And I found myself enjoying doing it as well. So from writing and blogging becoming my reason to get out of bed, it evolved into my therapy and my purpose. And then Elephant Journal featured one of my articles, and that also led to Huffington Post UK asking me to blog for them, and all of it just fed my courage. I began to slowly believe in my writing, in my own voice, and in my own truth. And in time, I summoned the courage to slowly get out of the house, meeting real people in real life, and it evolved into getting out of my comfort zone completely, out of the country, in fact. I moved to a farm, remote farm, probably worse than Perlis. And it was in the Philippines. The farm was like any other farm, sustained on livestock and agriculture. And seriously, I had no idea what I was supposed to do at the farm because the closest experience I have of farming is watering my plants on my balcony in KL. And they died within a week. So I don't think that is a good CV for, farming. But to protect the plants at the farm, I started by shadowing and learning and observing the leaders and the founders at the farm. And slowly, I decided that I should get seriously involved. So I started engaging with the community living at the farm, visitors, interns, volunteers, and they came from all corners of the world. And it's funny how when you interact with so many different people of all kinds of ages, genders, and backgrounds and belief systems, your world just explodes. And I found my spectrum of understanding appreciation of humanity and the world, especially my perspective, expanded beyond my wildest imagination. The farm gave me freedom and space to really explore and even follow on my crazy radical ideas. So, as I said, the farm really depended on agriculture and livestock for sustenance. And we needed a model that is away from the charity mentality mode. So this is why we ventured into social business. And we really did not understand or even know what social business meant at that time. Social enterprise or social entrepreneurship they're not such familiar terms as they are now. But we really needed to create ways of alleviating poverty and also changing the fate of the children of the poor, so-called breaking their generational curse of poverty. And when we began, things were really challenging. Like I said, it was in the dark ages of social business, so there were really nothing to reference, and you just had to struggle. So we really didn't plan on achieving anything great. We just wanted to try. And our mandate was simply use all the resources at the farm, make sure it's a bottom-up approach from farm to market. Whatever we create had to be marketable, sustainable, scalable. It had to also solve a problem for the marginalized community. It also had to be of world-class quality. And it also had to have room for cross-pollination. And all of these anchored on our mantra, Walang Iwanan. In English, it means leave no one behind. And we take that very seriously at the farm. So we really did not think that our peanut butter could even win the coveted award in a blind taste test in Manila. But that is exactly what Tarjan and Kat did with First Harvest. I always refer to First Harvest really as a love story between peanut and honey, the two main ingredients of the peanut butter. And of course, as you can see, Tarjan is the peanut, Kat is the honey. And we didn't think that it was possible a handbag like the one sitting on the podium, made by our communities, could feed 10 families. But that is exactly what Reese did with Rags to Riches. And Reese, I have to really honor her, because she was one of the pioneers who charted the path of social business when it was still in the dark ages. But what she did in the process broke ground for the rest to follow. For the rest, like Anya. Anya Lim was able to intern at Reese's Rags to Riches, and after that, she went on to start and build her own social enterprises. And her enterprise solely focused on the indigenous weaving community. Anya's passion gave her courage to go into communities that even the Filipinos have never heard of or seen. And if it wasn't for Anya, these beautiful, traditional, tribal, artisanal weaves will never see daylight. So thanks to Anya, one dress ended up supporting an entire weaving community in the Philippines. And I'm wearing one of the dresses today. And this dress, thank you. And this dress is made by the Agro tribal community. And the colors are just amazing, and they're very durable. So I would like you to understand that social business and normal business. What's the difference between their model and ours? We did not set up a business to make products and services so that it could generate profits and serve shareholders' interest. We actually created so many social businesses in all variety so that we could continue to hire more marginalized people and then train those who are able to become entrepreneurs of their own, so that they also become living proofs of concepts to their own community as well as to the rest of the world. But more importantly, we wanted the social enterprises itself to become the fertile training ground for our students. Yes, I forgot to mention, my bad. Then at the farm, we ended up building a fully funded social entrepreneurship program for the marginalized kids. So our program was 40% in classrooms where you learn the theories and 60% out on the ground, real life, hands-on experience. And that's how the farm slowly evolved into an incubator of sorts, an evolving social enterprise platform. And in my experience, I found that setting up the social business and the operational processes were the easiest. The most challenging was building the people and training them. And gradually, I started to focus on training and building people because changing mindsets, attitudes, belief system, and especially unlearning your old programming and conditioning and relearning the new ones, or actually your authentic ones, takes a lot of time and patience. So for every success story, there's also a lot of hardships, heartaches, tragedies, and setbacks. No journey is ever pretty. No journey is ever smooth. Nothing good ever came easy. And those who have done a lot of community work or strive for something, I think you can relate. For every, successful enterprise, we had to endure a lot of losses. For example, some are man-made, some are of natural disasters, There were many individuals who quit and left a trail of mess for the rest of us to clean up. You guys are nodding, so I guess you know what I'm talking about. And then there were investors who pull out without warning and left all these poor families in a lurch. The most tragic case was a young man who ended up killing himself because the lead social entrepreneur decided to bail out. And that young man's complete world just shattered, literally. And there were typhoons, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, floods, and they would have destroyed everything that we have created in just mere minutes. And we would have no choice but to start again. So to say that I had lived a richer and deeper life would be an understatement. I feel that I am the real beneficiary of life's boundless blessings, and that I got to learn so many priceless lessons along the way, and I have all these beautiful memories to last me a lifetime. Today, before I close my sharing, I like to tell you some of the important lessons that helped me along the way, in hopes that they may share light to yours. Always show up. Always find a reason to get out of bed and show up, and to do it every single day, regardless of how broken, defeated, tired, hopeless, or helpless you feel. And do it just for you. Don't discount all the little moments or gestures in your life. They could really lead you to your greatest adventure. And in the process, you may even find your purpose and your truth. If you are suffering from any mental health issues, don't be too afraid or too proud in getting help if you need to. And you'll be surprised how many people will be willing to listen and care for you or support you. Just take the first step. Speak out. Okay? And finally, don't judge your entire life based on a few sad or bad years. Everything changes, life changes, and life is filled with contrasts. And how you manage those contrasts will determine how much you grow, learn, and become greater versions of yourself. So the real magnum opus I am sharing today is not my life journey, but the amazing human spirit and the artistry of humanity. Because what we are is life's gift to us. Because we can't choose which country, family, or DNA we're born with. But what we become is our gift to life, because that is within our choice and responsibility. May we all use our gifts wisely and kindly. May we all pass on something worthwhile to the next generation while we still can. Thank you.